My name is Michael Grove, and I'm a landscape architect. I am a partner and the chair of landscape architecture, civil engineering, and ecology at Sasaki. We're a global design firm with offices in Boston, New York, Denver, and Shanghai. I lead our landscape architecture practice globally, though I'm based out of Boston, and frequently travel between all of our offices. I discovered that I had an affinity for nature when I was really young. I think most kids, if they're fortunate enough to grow up with any kind of open space, green space, natural areas nearby, they love to explore. I had a big backyard with a woods and a creek, and I would often go out there and build islands and waterfalls in the creek in the mud. Um, I think that in my mind as a young child, I always thought that meant I wanted to be an architect. I thought that's what you did if you wanted to build things. I didn't realize there were a host of other allied professions that were involved in design, whether that was planning and urban design, civil engineering, ecology, or landscape architecture. I found out later in high school that creek, my best friend, kind of betrayed me. It was actually the stormwater runoff from the mall parking lot that was uphill, about a quarter of a mile uphill. So my entire childhood was spent splashing around in hydrocarbons and other kind of polluted stuff that was in this waterway. And so I realized then that landscape architecture has the power not to just to design the spaces that we enjoy, but to actually enhance them through biodiversity, through understanding climate change, through preventing pollution, by allowing for conservation to happen, and thinking more about the systems of how all of these things are interrelated and don't just work in kind of independent, discrete buckets. The American Society of Landscape Architects is our professional organization, and that has a ton of resources around what we do, advocacy in the profession, all kinds of fun toolkits about pathways to landscape architecture. There's also the Landscape Architecture Foundation, which is another wonderful resource to look at a lot of case studies, how the work of landscape architects have improved their communities or their cities through economic metrics, environmental metrics, social and human metrics. I was lucky enough to work on the plan for the 2008 Beijing Olympic Summer Games, which was an incredible opportunity to kind of design all of the venues for the Olympics in the middle of Beijing, which is this incredibly historic city. So we did the master plan and all of the landscape architecture for the public realm, including the largest new park in Beijing as part of that project. And then the one I'm working on right now, which I'm really proud of and excited about, is in Athens, Greece. It's the former Athens International Airport that was decommissioned about 20 years ago, and they're now turning it into Europe's largest coastal park. It's almost the size of Central Park in New York City. It's bigger than Hyde Park in London. So it's this incredible opportunity to build a generational park that I think is going to change what Athens looks like for the next 1,000 years. Being a landscape architect, your day-to-day is different every day, and that's what's wonderful about it. But I would say there are some constants. What we do as landscape architects is collaborate. We collaborate amongst ourselves, kind of riffing off each other's design ideas, sitting around a table, sketching and drawing. That I would say is how I spend the bulk of my day with my teams, just ideating. And it's totally fun because you're just drawing all day. Like, what kind of career do you get to like play with pens and markers and well into your middle age, right? A lot of my time is also spent on site with clients. A really wonderful part, I think, of being a landscape architect, certainly at a global firm like Sasaki, is all of the incredible travel that I've been able to experience. I would think the last part is kind of the community engagement, being in front of You're not just presenting your ideas to your clients, but your ultimate client are the users of the spaces that you're designing. It's one that mirrors the general population. Designers in the profession to be reflective of the communities that they're meant to serve. I think the only message I would offer for anyone considering a career in landscape architecture is get out there in the world and start to see some of the spaces that landscape architects have designed. There's likely some in your neighborhood or community, and there's certainly some in any big city near you. So do a little research online, go and kind of type in, your city and landscape architecture and see what's been built, and then go and immerse yourself in those spaces, learn from them, critique them, think about what you would have changed about those spaces if you had the opportunity to design it.